What you got, dude?
Got a gun.
You got a gun?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Good red valve.
Wreck-It Ralph?
We can tell you.
What's your real name?
Red valve.
My name is Shire Ketter, and I identify as a female.
My name is Kyla. And my name is Daisy.
Gender's like a boy is like a different gender than a girl.
We decided to wait to find out his sex because I think I just wanted it to be a surprise. I didn't want to know. We knew with our first son, and that was, my husband wanted to know. So this time around, I wanted to wait to find out if he was going to be a boy or a girl. It ultimately was mutual, but first my husband wanted to know. I wanted to wait, but I also feel like in our society or culture that we could have found out, so of course he wanted to know. It was like, why not? Why wait when you can find out? But he respected my decision to wait, so we decided to wait for the second one and find out. Most people were really surprised, but they also were excited that we didn't find out because so few people actually do that now. So many people do find out the sex. Majority of my friends knew the sex of their babies before they had them. So most people were very surprised, and they were excited that we didn't know because everyone told us that it would be the best surprise once we were in the delivery room and found out. So most people were surprised and thought it was really cool that we decided to wait. I wanted to wait to find out because, one, if it was a girl, I think I would have gone a little crazy shopping. So I decided to not find out for that reason, in the sense we have everything for the boy. Second was that I felt because we had everything, we didn't need to know if it was a boy or a girl. The room was already set up. We had all the clothes. All newborn clothes are pretty neutral. It wasn't a big deal. If the baby was a girl, I didn't feel we'd have to go shopping right away or anything. We prepared in the sense that it was easier to know that he was a boy because of the shower and in regard to gifts. I think if that wasn't an issue, we probably would have waited. So with the second, with Johnny, we didn't feel we had to know because we had everything, and most of everything, all our big things like the swing and the bouncy seat and all that stuff were gender neutral, including his room. So if it was a girl, I felt like it completely wouldn't have been an issue on that part. I think that a difference between myself growing up in like the 80s and early 90s compared to now is that I've noticed that a lot of the girls are into like princesses, and it's princesses thrown in your face, and it should be princesses, and every little girl should want princess dresses. And while I don't have girls and I don't know that experience right now, but I definitely feel like that was not my experience growing up. I remember liking Disney movies and loving them, but I never felt like I had to be the princess. Another difference would be, I definitely think growing up that things that I had were very gender neutral. I didn't have many girly things, but there are also things that I feel like I want for my kids, like the Fisher-Price phone and like now you see a pink one and the primary colored one instead of just the primary colored one, and things like that. So I definitely do think that things have gotten more gender specific, very blue and very pink, even the aisles of the toy store I feel are like that. I feel that having two boys, I felt I didn't want them to be boys. I don't want them to feel like they have to do sports growing up because they're boys, or I don't want them to feel like they have to be in construction equipment and like as toys and whatnot. So I think that I felt when we had them is why I wanted to do things gender neutral, such as their room, toys. Like even for Christmas, we bought him a kitchen play set, and it was very difficult to find a cool boy one. All they had was all the cool ones were pink, and all the gender neutral ones were boring. And it was almost saying that like, oh, it's okay for girls to have fun in the kitchen, but not for boys. So we ended up finding a cool red one that we felt was gender neutral enough. But things like that were I feel very hard to find, and I find that many things are either pink or primary colored. There's no in between. And also I feel that it's fine for girls to wear blue, but it's not okay for boys to wear pink. One of my favorite things about my husband is he does not like football. whenever we are with groups of people, automatically they will bring up something about sports, and Dave just kind of sits there silent for a minute. And then maybe we'll throw in like the 1 or 2 football players' names he does know. But it's just kind of funny how everyone assumes because he's a guy and he looks like a guy, like he's very like muscular and big, and he does construction work, so he is very like typical man, that he would like football or any other sport for that matter. And he's just not into it, and I think it's kind of funny that everyone just assumes because he's a guy, he's into sports. I think as a parent, it's hard to... I want them to do whatever they want. And I would like to like hang up dresses and pirate costumes and police officer costumes and be like, go ahead and pick which one you want to play with. I feel like I don't want to say, you can wear this pink princess dress because I don't believe in gender roles. I want them to be able to choose it themselves. And I think that's really hard though in like our culture to define that difference. James's birthday present ideas I want to do is get him like a little dress up trunk. But part of me inside, do I like put dresses in there? Like, I don't know. Like, I think that's an inner thing for me too. I'd have nothing wrong if we were at someone's house and he put on dresses. It totally wouldn't bother me. But at the same time, I wonder, is that something do I put in his dress up trunk? Because that's not it is not a norm in our society. While I have no problem with it, I don't know what I would actually do when it comes to that. But if it's something he wanted to buy, I would never stop myself from buying it. I personally don't know any other parents that are legitimately gender neutral. Definitely, they might say they are, but they definitely still push the boy things or push the girl things. The one parent I do know who is fairly gender neutral, she's a German mom. She's from Germany. They're living over here for a couple years with her husband working in the States. And I don't think she's purposely being gender neutral though. I think that's German culture. Which I feel like European culture is very different than American culture in that sense. So it's really interesting to see all the toys her daughter plays with. Even when I first was hanging out with them a couple times, I'd have to like, I knew her daughter was a girl, but I wouldn't have known that by looking at her. She was dressed in very gender neutral clothes. Even the mom told me that she hates that all the girls' clothes here are pink, because that's not the way it is in Germany. So I do think it's a very cultural thing here in the States and not necessarily all over the world. I feel like it's not popular here in the US is because of the, I guess it's the commercialism, like what the markets put out there. I feel like we don't really have a choice unless we make stuff ourselves or start a new wave of or new movement of things for parents. I feel like most parents, what they can afford are from stores that are very genderized. Even diapers, like, are very, there's not just neutral diapers. There are more gender neutral parents in that natural attachment parenting realm, as opposed to the outside of that, which is 95% of other parents. So I feel like that's why I feel like it's not popular, because that's what the toy and child industry makes it out to be. So I guess I basically hope to like raise our boys to be comfortable in themselves, to be able to wear whatever they want, and to have enough self-confidence that it doesn't matter what other people think. I think our culture is very gender oriented, and I think there's no stopping that. It's going to be like this no matter what. I think it's just the individual who can kind of form themselves to the community and be individualistic if they choose to be.
People were put on this earth to like for a purpose, and if they acted exactly how like everybody else acted, then the world would just be the same and it would be boring. And if they have to like act a certain way, then they would probably be sad because they don't want to act, they want to be like who they are, they want to be free. I think people should be able to like wear whatever they want and like act however they want. If people want to judge you for that, then just don't listen to them.
What do you want to do when you grow up? Like, do you want to work? Do you want to be a dad? What do you want to do?
Be a gay.
You want to be like Aunt Kay, but what do you want to do, like, as your job?
Be a gay.
You want to be like Aunt Kay?
Yeah.
And do you know what gender is?
Good guys.
4 years
Stand
old.
up.
Gender means you gotta sit down. Stop moving. Cole. girl look like?
Go mad.
And what does a boy look like?
Go